Hey everybody, and welcome to Whiskey Watch. My name is Joe. Um, we're going to go ahead and get started with the whiskey before we start with the watch. And for this first episode ever, I figured we got to go with something big, right? So I'm going to go with one of my favorites. I've got a Michter's 10 year. I'm going to pour a little bit of that. I got a teeny tiny little ice cube, which a lot of people would say even that much ice in a bottle is good. It's a mistake, but I live in the South. I hang out in my garage. It's kind of hot, so I put a little ice cube. Even Pappy Van Winkle himself said the best way to enjoy a glass of bourbon is however the hell you like it. And on this pod, I'm going to be doing a little bit of sports, a little bit of movies, all of course while having a pour. I'm sure you can see behind me. I'm also a avid Buffalo Bills fan. I have turned my garage into a Bills bar. So during well, during football season, or as I call it, Bills season, I'm sure you'll hear a lot about that. But tonight I'm going to start off with a classic. I said this is going to be movies and sports, so why not start off with one of the best movies about sports? I'm watching Major League, one of my all-time favorites. I got it playing in the background over here, just so not just talking about it. I'm actually watching a little bit right near the beginning here, and of course, the most one of the most famous lines in the movie. It just happened. This guy here is dead. Cross him off then. This movie never fails. I swear, no matter how many times I've seen it, I laugh my ass off every single time. May as well get a little ice cube's almost completely melted. Get a little pour here, get a little sip. Mm. Damn, that is good. If you are ever fortunate enough to come across a bottle of this in the wild and you can get it anywhere close to MSRP, spend the money. I'm telling you, it is just so good. A good place. It's hard to find anywhere, even in bars. But if you're ever in the Louisville, Kentucky area, Michter's built a new distillery a couple years ago, right in downtown Louisville. Beautiful. And upstairs, they have a really cool bourbon bar where they sell just about everything that they make. So last time I was there, I ponied up for a glass of the 10-year rye, which this 10-year bourbon is out of this world. The 10-year rye will knock your socks off. It is just fantastic. Oh, the ever awful Rachel Phelps. She played the villain in this movie perfectly. So, another thing I love about this movie, the more you watch it, the more you notice the subtleties, like the little things. Last time I watched this, I remember it was the end of spring training camp. And anybody who's ever seen this movie knows like about the red tag in the locker and all the guys doing all this crazy stuff to, you know, whatever, just hoping that it's not there. Well, Serrano, who practices voodoo, is on the last day, he's got this big stupid hat on and he's got this giant snake and he's like doing something with the snake in front of his locker, like making a cross kind of thing because he thinks it's good luck. And I've always been so focused on Serrano and the snake, I never noticed. Like, I've seen this movie, I swear to God, 50 to 100 times. I have never noticed standing off to the side of the locker was the old crafty veteran Eddie Harris, who is so underrated as a character in this movie. He's standing there with one of his cleats in his hand, like he's ready to kill the snake if Serrano drops it. Every time I watch it, I swear I pick up on something else. We're at the part now where the GM is calling the guys, and drunk Jake Taylor is that you, Tolbert? I think he's getting prank called when he gets offered to try out with the Indians. He's down in Mexico with someone passed out on top of him. Lou Brown is the coach, my favorite character in the whole movie. I mean, everybody seems to like gravitate towards like Willie Mays Hayes, Serrano, Wild Thing, the big characters. Lou Braun, the way he just does everything, that raspy, monotone voice, never gets too excited, never, like the part when Rachel Phelps walks into the locker room and he's butt ass naked. She's like, "Don't you think you got to cover yourself with a towel? We're on towels. I'm too old to go diving in a locker." Like like always the same tone. Dude is just perfect for this role. Oh yeah, and the other guy, nobody knows his name. I mean, they call him Pepper. It says Leach on the back of his jersey. One of the assistant coaches. Nobody knows who this guy is. Nobody cares. He's such an other guy in this movie. He has three, maybe four lines the whole movie. Every one of them gold. And the first one is coming up. Guys are showing up to spring training. You know, Vaughn's going to show up on the Harley, and it's, look at this fucking guy. Could anyone have better played Roger Dorn than Corbin Burnson? The way he does it, he just plays the arrogant prick who thinks he's so much better than he is. He plays it perfectly. Everything with the country club look, the blonde hair, the sweater vest when he shows up in Arizona at spring training. He's just such a douche. Comes Willie Mays Hayes. Wesley Snipes, another underrated role of his. Wesley Snipes has been in so many movies. Like, seriously, he's a star of a few. Nothing overly huge. I've always liked Passenger 57. I don't know why. I have a tendency to like a lot of what I call B level movies. My wife will walk in every once in a while. "What are you watching?" "My favorite bad movie." She's like, "If it's bad, why are you watching?" I was like, "Because it's friggin' awesome." Yeah, if you like bad movies that are just great, uh, you'll enjoy this because I'll eventually, guaranteed, watch one of them while we're talking. But anyways, yeah, this is just something I'm doing to pass the time. Gives me a little something for me. I got two little girls, 14 and 6, both involved in sports, so I'm always running and doing something for them. Work full time. I don't have any time to do anything for myself, so I figured, what the hell? I'm gonna set up a phone with a light out in my garage where I got a couple of TVs because I usually watch more than one football game on Sundays during the season, or you know, baseball game, whatever it might be, hockey game. And I'm just gonna go out here and talk about things I like. Maybe it becomes something, maybe it doesn't. I don't care. Because I just want some time. I just want to hide in the garage, tell my wife and kids, don't bother dad for at least like a half hour, 45 minutes. I'm going to go outside, watch a little movie, watch a little sports, and do a podcast. So it's great. It really is great. For any guys out there who are listening and you have a similar situation, if your wife is at all into podcasts, social media, whatever, this is a great idea because she'll be like, "Oh, I think that sounds fun." And she doesn't care because you're not out, you know, no chance of getting in any shenanigans. Just sitting in the garage, man. Yeah, I'm going to have a little pour of bourbon, watch Major League, talk about it. No complaints from the wife on that. Hardest part's keeping the 6-year-old at bay. I was setting up, and she came out here within the first 5 minutes. That little girl is just so darn curious. She's a swimmer. She has swim meets. 6 years old. This kid swims all 4 strokes, has to swim in the 8U division for butterfly and for breaststroke because there is no 6U division. So last week she took first place in the 6U freestyle and back, and then took third place in the 8U butterfly swimming against all girls rule. And my 14-year-old is a hockey player. I'll see if I can adjust a little bit. There's a picture of her right there below the Von Miller pennant in her hockey gear. She plays travel hockey, ice hockey. Yeah, down in North Carolina in the South. There's more hockey down here than you'd think. But yeah, she's a little star. Averaged a point a game last year, 36 games, 26 goals, 10 assists. Neither of my kids wanted to play softball or baseball. I grew up playing baseball. One thing I could have helped them with. One's a swimmer. I know nothing about it. I'm learning. And one's a hockey player, which I love hockey. I'm originally from Buffalo. I mean, said I'm a Bills fan. I also am a Sabres fan, which is not easy. I'll tell you what. Uh, if you want a lesson in stick-to-itiveness, which is one of my favorite made-up words, become a fan of a bad sports team. Seriously. It'll teach you patience. Waited 19 years for the Bills to make the playoffs in between the last time they did, back when I was a season ticket holder living in Buffalo, and when they finally got back with the miracle Bengal win over the Ravens on New Year's Eve a couple years ago. One of my favorite days ever, I swear. The Bills beat the Dolphins in the 1 o'clock game. Kyle Williams, defensive tackle, like one of the all-time Buffalo Bills players, actually got in on offense, ran in a touchdown, and they did like this cool celebration where they all got in a circle and he pretended the ball was a grenade, threw it up, and when it landed, they all went out, went on their back. But we needed help. We needed the Ravens, who are very good, to lose to the Bengals, who are very bad. I think the Bengals had like 4 wins going into that game, last game of the season. And it comes to a 4th and 17 play. And Andy Dalton hits Tyler, what the hell was his last name? Oh my God, I know this. It was like their third receiver. Tyler something. But he hits him over the middle for like 25 yards, and I'm going bonkers. It's 4th and 17. They got the first down. Then he's still running. He goes all the way for the touchdown. So not only did they get the first down, but they got the touchdown. So now they're up with like a minute and change to go. But luckily, Joe Flacco did some Joe Flacco things. Bengals held on, and the Bills broke the playoff drought. And the video of the Bills in the locker room watching the Ravens game was just amazing. Kyle Williams got his kids with him. He's crying. Everybody's just like jumping around, celebrating. Thurman Thomas from the old Super Bowl Bills was in Miami for the game. He posted a video on Insta of him like just going bonkers. It was awesome. Of course, we lost in the first round that year, but we're getting there. This is the year we get over the hump. Last year I thought was the year we got over the hump too, though, but we'll see. Got the MVP. Josh got an MVP. That's a big plus, but so we're in spring trading now. Lou Brown, my guy, just pulled my favorite move when Dorn comes up complaining about the sit-ups he wants him to do for when he makes an error. Says, got it right here on my contract. I don't have to do any kill settings. I don't think are necessary. What do you think about that? Brown drops it on the ground, unzips his fly, and takes a piss on his contract. What a fucking movie. Oh, God, what a pour. My ice cube fully melted. Took it down a little. God, I'm getting old. I need better eyes or longer arms. Yeah, I stole that from my dad. Now for a 10-year, it's only 94 and change for proof. And the melted ice probably took it down a little bit. I mean, it was only a half of a small cube of ice. I refuse to water my bourbon down too much. But I just realized they put barrel numbers on the 10-year. I never paid attention to the neck up top. This little label here tells you barrel number. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I do not drink Victor's 10 on a regular basis. For example, there's this much left. I got this bottle a good 3 years ago. I'm usually more of a 40 $40 bottle guy. It used to be 30 and $35 bottles, but nothing is that anymore. So now I'm like in the 40 to 50 range. You can get so much good bourbon without overpaying. I really enjoy a couple that you can get with amazing ease. But this one here, I'll pull out just to talk about it a little bit. We'll drink this on another episode. This is a little bit harder to find. It's not popular at all. It's called Balcones. And this is their Texas Rye. I have talked about this in the past. I compare it to the gum that Violet Beauregard chews in Willy Wonka's factory. Yeah, you know how she like it starts off with like an appetizer, and then you get the main course, and then you get the dessert, and of course the blueberry pie is what turns her into a blueberry. But this actually, I feel like this that Texas Rye, it changes so much. The nose is different than the mouthfeel. The upfront taste then changes in the aftertaste. It's almost got like a chocolatey Tootsie Roll kind of finish. It's so good. It's just so unique. I love bourbon, but ryes are my favorite just because bourbon has so many rules. If anybody doesn't know, you cannot basically call it bourbon unless you do certain things. Like bourbon, it has to be aged in oak barrels. Um, it has to be at least 50% corn. There's so many rules. And then if it's bottled and bond, there's even more rules. It has to be aged for a minimum of 4 years. There's all this stuff. Rye is there's no rules. Anybody can make rye. So and make whatever they want in it. And some rye taste like the rye grain. Like there's it just depends on what you're in. Like this one here, Pikesville. It's about a $50 bottle, 55, 60 at the most. And if you want to know when I say it tastes like the rye grain, if you want to know what rye tastes like, drink Pikesville. It tastes exactly like you're just chewing on the rye. They didn't mess with it. They said we're going to make rye that tastes like rye. But then there's the one I told you about, the Balcones, or one of my favorites, the Willet Family Reserve. That's almost floral and fruity. Or if you want to go on the high end, about 90 to 110 for price, Angel's Envy Rye. Most people know about Angel's Envy bourbon. You can get that, probably in the 50s. Angel's Envy Rye is twice as expensive and 10 times as good, in my opinion. It's aged in Caribbean rum casks, so it kind of gets the sweetness, almost like a vanilla. So good. But anyway, drinking Michter's 10 tonight, watching some Major League. The old crafty veteran Eddie Harris just had the line about dropping jalapeno in his nose to get it running so he can load up the ball. Keeps you 2 to 3 inches drop on your curveball. And right after that, the introduction for the first time with Jobu. Everyone knows Jobu. Speaking of Eddie Harris and Jobu, the famous line, "Yo, bartender, Jobu needs a refill." Oh, so smooth, so delicious. But yeah, so this is what I like to do. I like to hang out in my garage. I like to watch movies. I like to watch sports. I like to drink a little, not a lot. I don't drink daily, but when I do, I just like a good solid pour of bourbon or rye or any whiskey for that matter. In the summertime, not quite as much as usual. It's just too hot, When it's hot outside, I'm more of a occasional beer. I love beer. Don't get me wrong, but it just fills me up. Uh, I like vodka this cheap vodka. I'm not a snob when it comes to vodka like I am when it comes to bourbon. Actually, I always joke, I'm not a snob. I have aspirations to be a snob. I don't know enough to be a snob. But Deep Eddy is a good vodka. I buy their lemon, and it's way too sweet. It is so sweet. And I mean, it's got the tartness of the lemon, but it's just too much. But I drink it as a mixed drink. I just put it in a pint glass, fill it up with ice, put in a shot or two, and then I just top it off with water. Give it a little stir. It tastes like you're just drinking lemonade. It's delicious. It's refreshing. It's cool on a hot day. But not today. I don't know if anybody has noticed, but I got my Buffalo glass for the inaugural show here. It's the standing buffalo with the heart in the middle. Every time I go home to Buffalo, I come back with something else, whether it's a mug with the buffalo on it, a new piece of memorabilia for my bar. I mean, if you look over my shoulder here, the thing that's most noticed was the pylon. That's one of my favorite pieces because a lot of people have autographed helmets and jerseys, stuff like that. But not a lot of people have a real NFL pylon. That's signed by Fred Jackson. Fred Jackson, solid running back for the Bills during the drought. One of the another all-time favorite of the fans. Just a great dude. Used to do this touchdown celebration where he just like I called him the Infredible Hulk. The preseason game where Hayes pops up to the infield and just drops down right at home plate and starts doing push-ups. Such a good movie. Well, we're not going to get through the whole movie because I'm not going to make an hour and 30, 45-minute podcast, especially on the first one. But yeah, I started at the beginning. So this is where we're at in spring training. It's at the final cut down day now. The part I was telling you about with Harris holding the shoe is about to happen. But what's funny is I'm talking about Major League, and this podcast is probably going to be over before the best character even comes in. Who doesn't love Bob Uecker in this movie? Harry Doyle. So many amazing lines, and even the simple stuff. I mean, a lot of people may not know this if you don't follow baseball, but you've seen Major League. I mean, Bob Uecker was actually a play-by-play guy for the Milwaukee Brewers for like 30 years. I mean, he's awesome. And just the basic things like, they're the Indians. So when the opposing team hits a home run, he says, off the reservation. When the right or left fielder is not a main character. He says his name is Tomlinson, and the only reason I know that is because at one point Harry Doyle says Tomlinson's gonna need a rocket up his ass to catch this one. Watching Willie Mays Hayes right now, and every time I watch this, I automatically already start to get upset about Major League Two. Major League Two, there's some people who just won't even watch it. I like it. I don't hate it. It's nowhere near as good as the first one. The addition of Randy Quaid, Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's Vacation, which he'll always be Cousin Eddie. That's his best role. But the addition of him made it watchable. But replacing Wesley Snipes with Omar Epps as Willie Mays Hayes was just bad. So bad. I mean, Snipes just made that character his. Replacing him with fucking Omar Epps, are you kidding me? Hmm. Well, the whiskey's gone. So that spells the end of this episode. Sorry we didn't get to watch more of the movie. But next time we'll have another movie, a game, maybe even the rest of Major League. We'll see. But have a good one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Spread the word. If you know any other guys who like to hang out, have a good pour, have a couple of laughs, talk about funny movies, or not always funny. You never know. A couple of Godfather, Goodfellas type movies, or The Departed, who knows? But one thing's for sure, you will find out about some of my favorite bad movies in an upcoming episode. I might even just dedicate an episode to my favorite bad movies. So, thanks for joining me, and hope you guys come back and do this again with me some other time. Have a good one.